Greetings, Titans. Okay, so we are moving on to activity 11. This is finding text evidence. So you will need your pencil and you will also need your yellow highlighter. You will need your yellow highlighter to highlight some things in the story. So go ahead and get that out, get it ready, and make sure that, I did not mean to do that. I'm gonna keep it yellow so you guys know. Okay. I am going to help you find the evidence. So we are going to enter the evidence here on this side, and then you're going to pause the video and go find it in the story and highlight it. Okay, so I will help you in this video, but after we do write it down, I need you to go back and actually locate it and highlight it. Okay, so for example, when we're finding our evidence, Moose was an accomplished football player. Okay, we're going to cite specific evidence from the text for that. In the story, it says, now in his senior season, that means he's a senior in high school, the Moose had twice been named to the all-conference team and was considered a cinch for All-State. So that means that he was on an all-conference team, which means it's a bunch of great football players. They only pick the best of the best to be on this special team. And he was a cinch for All-State. That means that he's probably going to get an award for the best player in the state, basically. So that's how good he is. Okay? That is directly from the story. Now, if we are going to explain what this means, it means that only the best football players are named to the all-conference team. Being considered a cinch for All-State is even further proof that Moose has excellent football skills. So all of these things are just evidence that he is a great football player. All right, so we're going to move on to number 1 here, and it is that Jerry appreciated the hard work Moose did for him on the football field. So Jerry was one of his teammates, if you remember, and Moose was the one that helped Jerry run the ball in to make a touchdown. Okay, so this is the text from the story, all right? So it is, after circling in the end zone a moment, while the cheers echoed through the night, Jerry did run across and hug the moose. Or hug Moose. It didn't say hug the moose. I keep calling him the moose. He's not an actual animal. He's just called Moose. All right. That's true. So Jerry knew who had made the touchdown possible. Okay, this is the exact evidence from the story. After circling in the end zone a moment while the cheers echoed through the night, Jerry did run across and hug the moose. That's true. Jerry knew who made the touchdown possible. Okay, you need to pause the video, go back with your yellow highlighter and find this. And I want you to highlight it. Okay? Go ahead and pause now. All right, so we're going to move on to explain what this means. After you've found the evidence, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to say that the reason that he hugged Moose was because, Jerry hugged Moose. We'll start out with that. Because he knew that if Moose hadn't, let's do this here. Nope. Do I need coffee? I think I do. Okay, Jerry hugged Moose because he knew that if Moose hadn't blocked for him, there is no way he could have scored the touchdown. Right? So he knew. He went up and just gave Moose a hug. He's like, thank you so much. Because if it wouldn't have been for Moose being there for him and doing his job correctly and doing it so well, that there's no way Jerry could have scored a touchdown. So they were a team. They definitely needed each other. Okay, let's move on to this next part. Coach Williams was at first annoyed by Moose's request. So how do we know that's true? Let's go ahead. I'm going to give you the text from, I'm going to give you the specific part of the story, then you need to go find it. So let's see. Oh my. Let's see. Coach Williams was good at quick recoveries. Now, are they talking about like Coach Williams being sick and he's recovering? No, they're talking about, Moose went up to his coach, he's like, hey, I want to carry the ball. And coach couldn't just be like, no way, you can't do that. Like he can't do that. So he just gave him a smile, and he was very tolerant with him and just said, you just keep right on blocking, son. And like, that was his answer. So he was at first annoyed by it because he's like, no way. Like, you're my all-state blocker. Like, you're my all-state tackle. There's no way. Okay, so let's go ahead and write this. Coach Williams was good at quick recoveries. As any high school football coach had better be. He gave a tolerant smile and a little nod and said, you keep right on blocking, son. Okay, that is what he said to him. So let's move this down. You're going to get your yellow highlighter, please, and you are going to go find this information. Coach Williams was good at quick recoveries, as any high school football coach had better be. He gave a tolerant smile and a little nod and said, you keep right on blocking, son. Okay, so pause the video, take your yellow highlighter, and find this. All right, so we are going to explain what that means. So if the coach is giving a tolerant smile, he's not like grinning from ear to ear, right? The coach isn't just like, yes, I've been waiting for you to ask me this. I want you to carry the ball too. No, the coach is like, no, like we're here to win games. I'm not here just to make your dreams come true, basically. So a tolerant smile implies that the coach was putting up with Moose being foolish, basically. So, but he wasn't happy about it. So the coach is like, okay, this is ridiculous. You can't carry the ball. That's not your job. But he wasn't happy about it. Okay, it would be like me one day saying, oh, I really want to still work at the school. I want to be part of the team, but I want to cook the lunches. I mean, maybe I could possibly do it, but, maybe not. I'm not qualified for that. I'm not qualified to cook all that wonderful food and make sure that every person is fed. I mean, that's a tough job. So we all have our jobs to do, and we all make sure that we are a part of the team and doing what we know how to do, right? Okay, so anyways, a tolerant smile implies that the coach was putting up with Moose being foolish, but he wasn't happy about it. Then he reminded Moose that he needed to just keep doing his job, and his job is to block. Okay, so we're going to say that too. He reminded Moose that he needed to keep doing his job, and which was blocking, right? Like, I'm not going to get out there and try to, cut the grass like Mr. Eduardo. Like, no, that's his job. He does it the best. Like, I would mess it up. I'm sure I would dig big holes in our beautiful field. So, you know what I mean? Like, we all have our jobs to do. So, anyways, yes. Let's see. All right, number 3, moving on. Dan Blevins thought Moose's idea was ridiculous. Okay, how do we know that's true? I mean, did he think that? I think he did. So here is the evidence to support that. It was actually a quote, and it says, "But look, oops, hello. What about, oh my, Joe Wright at guard, Bill Slocum," and now these are all just players on the team, right? We don't know really who they are, at right tackle, and even, let's see, what else? Even Herbie Watson at center. They might all want to carry the ball. All right, let me move this down. And there is more to this. They might all want to carry the ball. What are we going to do? Take turns. So that was it right there. And then he says, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so this is a direct quote from the story. Dan Blevins said, "But look, what about Joe Wright at guard, Bill Slocum at right tackle, even Herbie Watson at center? They might all want to carry the ball too. What are we going to do? Take turns? It doesn't work that way." Okay, pause the video, take your yellow highlighter, and please go find this text in the story and highlight it. Okay, now that you're back, let's go ahead and explain what this means. So let's explain that Dan Blevins thought that Moose's idea was ridiculous. So let's explain that. Well, Dan brings up the fact that that everyone on the football team who doesn't carry the ball most likely would love to carry the ball, right? Like we talked about earlier, everyone would love to carry the ball and run it in for a touchdown and everyone cheer loudly for them, but it just doesn't work that way because every player has their own job to do. So not everybody can run the ball in and get the glory. Okay, so let's write that out. So Dan brings up the fact that everyone on the team who doesn't carry the ball most likely would love to. Oops. But that isn't how football works. That is just not how it works. Just because you want to do it doesn't mean you can, okay? So every player has to do his own job. And that's just kind of how life works, doesn't it? Right? We all kind of have to do our own jobs. All right, this is going to be our last little bit of text evidence. Number 4. The Bedford City fans wanted Moose to carry the ball. Well, I remember this part. The fans in the stands were all starting to chant. They were all starting to chant, "Give Moose the ball, give Moose the ball." Okay, so we are going to find that in our text. We're going to say that Coach Williams looked irritated when the crowd, on a couple of occasions, I think I keep spelling his name Willimas. That's all right, right? We all make mistakes. We are all learners here, even me. Okay, kind of. All right. Coach Williams looked irritated when the crowd, on a couple of occasions, broke into a chant. Okay, broke into a chant, and they were shouting. And remember, everyone knew who the Moose was. They knew that he was amazing. So, let's see. Give the Moose the ball. The Moose the ball. All right, that's what they were shouting here. All right, give the Moose the ball. Give the Moose the ball. So what you're going to do, of course, is you're going to take your yellow highlighter. You are going to go back into the story and find this text in the story, and you are going to highlight it. So go ahead and pause the video. Go find it. All right. Now that you are back from finding that, we are going to explain what it means. So in the text, Coach Williams looked irritated. So the crowd was like, hey, give Moose the ball, give Moose the ball. They thought it was a great idea. They just wanted to see something exciting, right? So, but Coach knew, like, you know, I can't just give anybody the ball. So of course he's irritated. And so anyways, he ended up giving Moose the ball, of course, because they were beating the Tigers so badly that even if Moose did drop the ball, it might not have made that much of a difference anyway. So it was kind of the perfect time to take that chance and to take a risk and actually give Moose the ball. So the coach made it a point to give the crowd what they wanted. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that out. The fans were chanting. Give Moose the ball, right? Because they knew this was the perfect time to take a risk. Letting Moose carry the ball. Okay, they knew. It's like, okay, well, we're up 42-0. Might as well give it to him. You know, he's our main guy. He's, you know, what did they say up here? He's going to be an all-state player. He's just such a good football player. Might as well just kind of give him what he wants. Maybe. At least that's what the fans thought. So, Coach Williams was irritated, you know, because the crowd was just chanting, and they knew that it was the perfect time to take a risk. All right, so that is going to do it for activity 11. If you need to go back and find any of this text, go back and rewatch the video. You can rewind it, of course. When I do get your work, when you hand it in, I will be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of evidence in the story that's highlighted in yellow. I will be looking for this, so make sure you go back and highlight it, okay? All right, you guys, nice job. I will talk to you in the next video.